Okay, I have 7 o'clock on the dot, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am recording this, just so you know, because I have several that are not able to join us, or if you happen to, miss part of it, because I know there are lots of distractions out there in the world as well. It will be available on our website probably Thursday before I can get it up there. Well, it'll probably be next week, Monday, before I can get it up there. I'm going to try for tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. So if you need to go back and refer to it, or somebody who missed it needs to see it, that's fine too. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to our MdC 4-H Club Leader Training. I'm Carla Hightower. I'm the Marais District Extension Agent, 4-H Youth Development, and I think I know all of you who are on here. So anyway, we will just go ahead and get started. And so for today, we're going to do introductions. And I'd like you to introduce your name, your club, and if you are doing something in your club to recruit new members or welcome new members, I'd like to hear a little bit about that so we can do a little sharing amongst the clubs and get ideas from each other. So who would like to start with their introduction?
I'll go first so I can turn my camera back off. I'm Lindsay Moylan. I'm with the Bull Creek Wranglers, and this is my second year as a leader. Our club is growing, and mostly because they're all related to each other. We have cousins, and then the cousins of those cousins, and then this year we've got a whole slew of younger siblings turning 7. So that's been a lot of our growth, is recruiting our relatives because they don't want to miss out on the fun.
Okay. Thank you, Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like to go next?
Wait. Here, I'll go ahead and go. My name is Shannon Moser. I'm a club leader for the Busy Beavers Club and also in charge of the shooting sports for Miami and Lynn counties. Some of our recruitments, it's just been word of mouth this time. I know we have a few of them come in, but a lot of our club is a lot of family. So we're getting there. We're adding some numbers.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Shannon. Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
You're going to go.
I'm Jessica Hightower, and I'm from Mound Builders, and we are our 4-H members are trying to bring school friends.
That sounds great. Thank you, Jessica.
I'm Kathleen Downey with Trailblazers. I don't really know. We recruited new members last time because people heard about us and came into the meetings and liked them. So we're hoping that we can spread the word with all of our new members and get them to have somebody else come.
Okay. Sounds great.
This is Paula Gardner with Trailblazers also, and yeah, I do a lot with my teenagers and stuff to tell them to invite school friends to come to a meeting.
That's good. Okay, is anybody else on? I think I have maybe one more person on here that if you can just give me your name, your club. Because I think Brandy, you might have joined later, but name, club, and then if you have any ideas that you're using for new members, we're just kind of sharing.
Brandy Sharon with Spring Hill Rangers, and we have done flyers, but we need new members, so I'm all up for all the ideas.
Okay, I think that's everybody. Did I miss anyone? Okay. And Amy, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? I know you don't probably want to maybe do an idea for recruiting new members, but just so everyone knows you're on here too.
Yeah, Hi, everybody. Just in case you haven't met me yet, I am Amy Evans and I am the 4-H program manager. I started back in November.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining us today. And we're going to go ahead and get started with everything else. If at any time, if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask those, or if you want to do the chat, I'll try to monitor the chat. If nothing else, Amy might help me with that until she's presenting, and then I will monitor. So to kind of give, I kind of have a packed day today or tonight, but I promise I'm going to try really hard to get you done in less than an hour at max. So for the agenda today, I want to go over record books and PIN applications. We have club awards. We're going to talk a little bit about what is a 4-H club, because I know we're getting ready to do new officers. You might have already done that. Some clubs have, some clubs are getting ready to, and just, kind of starting the new year. Annual financial reviews, club organization reports, club leader notebooks, enrollment, recruiting new members, and then we have new family information, National 4-H Week, window displays and posters, and then anything else that you guys can have questions about or need some advice or anything you need to discuss, basically. So go ahead and get started on that. First of all, record books. We use the Kansas 4-H project report forms for all ages now. And we have different age divisions. There's a junior report form, an intermediate report form, and a senior report form. They did decide, this is a change from last year, but this year dog and pet is on the general form. So hopefully you guys have started working on those a little bit. I know I started with my nieces just this past week, Sunday. So 2 days ago. So that's where we're at. And then all other animals will use the animal form. Those are good. You can also use Z Suites as an online form. All of this is on our website, and I am trying to do some tutorial videos on that. As you see, there's a new project report form tutorial video that is out on Facebook and on YouTube, our YouTube channel at the Marais District Extension District YouTube channel, and is also, I think, going to be linked eventually to our webpage. I also have kind of an overview of what's the difference between PIN applications and record books or the project report forms. And they are due October 3rd to either office. So we have a little bit more. We moved that deadline back. So yeah. And Z Suites does seem to be a really cool thing. Amy just said that her kids use Z Suites and it is awesome. So I do like it. My nieces use it as well, and they seem to really like it. And I will be honest, Sunday we figured out how to do talk to text as well. And that seemed to really help, especially for my 8-year-old niece. So that is an option for you guys, feel free to use those things. The other thing is you can type if your kid can tell you what to put in. It is supposed to be their own words, and there are supposed to be on their, done by themselves, or not done by themselves. There are supposed to be their own words, but that doesn't mean you can't help them, especially our younger 4-Hers. We hope that by the time they get to be 13, 14, 15, they can kind of do them on their own with a little bit of guidance. But, 7, 8-year-olds are going to need quite a bit of that guidance. Okay, so that's for record books. Then that kind of goes on into PIN applications. We have the Marais District Member Marais Member Achievement PIN application form, and this is different than any of the state forms. It's all PINs are on one form, and it has a lot more options. So I really encourage everyone to use this. Most people do, but we always have 1 or 2 who end up on the state website trying to get the state forms. And then they sometimes can't make the PIN that they're trying for because the state form has very limited, and a lot of the things on there, well, they need to be updated is the whole thing. And they haven't been updated for several years, probably close to 15 or 20. And some of those events are no longer happening. So that's the type of thing. They must meet all requirements, and that includes a permanent record. I've been told we don't judge the permanent record. It's just put whatever you want to down. It'll help you with scholarships. It'll help you further on. I am going to try to do a video tutorial on the permanent record as well. It probably won't be until, well, maybe I'll get it done. I'm hoping to get it done this week. If it waits till next week, it's probably state fair, and so it probably will be after that. But you know, just do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one screens it, no one judges it. And you can attach that to your PIN application. And then just want to let people know that, especially as we are talking about new members, if you know, if a 14 or 15-year-old comes into 4-H as a new member, 13, 12, they can skip pins, especially if they've been doing, if they're really active and can manage to get, so you can skip a pin. Now, if you have a 7, 8, or 9-year-old start, probably don't need to skip a pin because there's only like 10 pins and you can be in 4-H for basically 10 years. So, that's kind of the thing. Those are due October 3rd to either office as well. Okay, going on into club awards. So we have club seals. They are, you apply for each year. They're due October 1st, just like everything else. Well, October 3rd. And I really want to encourage all clubs to submit. They really do help me with, I use them for basically when I do reports and many other things. And they just tell us what you did throughout the year. I will say we are working on updating the one for next year. So come October 1st, well, probably October 3rd, we will try to put that on the website. It's probably not going to be available until then, so so there's not a confusion over which one to use. But we continuously try to update those to keep those current and add in, things that we're doing in the district as well. And then club projects as well, and both counties are able to do club projects now. You can do 1 of 5 areas. They focus on the area throughout the year, report what you've done, and you're recognized at achievement night. And I think this year I'm also going to try, because I believe your club projects should have some pictures with them. And if you can send me a couple pictures with it, we're going to put that on social media and kind of do a look what this club is doing, did last year type thing to get some interest and also just highlight what our clubs are doing. And for those of you who maybe didn't attend, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was January or March. I did I updated their club leader notebooks, and we'll kind of talk about those then. But I did club project guidelines and instructions during that time, and those are available on the club leader notebook website. So another club leader on our website under club leaders. So lots of good things, kind of gives you some ideas on, what you might do in the club areas. So for healthy living, civic engagement, STEM and agriculture, communication and the arts, and 4-H promotion. So you got, get together with your club leader, your other club leaders, your volunteers, your parents committee, and then also, of course, your officers, and see what your club wants to do if they want to focus on one of those areas. They can focus on more than one area, but I just encourage you to focus on at least one area each year. And feel free to be creative. I have examples on here, but that does not mean you have to stick to those examples. If you can, think of another way to do it, that's great too. Okay, so my first thing, like I said, I want to kind of talk about what is a 4-H club. And I'm kind of going to go back to even just Kansas 4-H. And I want to give you kind of a vision and then our mission, and then kind of tell you what actually the requirements are for a club. So the Kansas 4-H mission is that youth in 4-H will grow and develop into healthy, caring adults prepared to meet the challenges and opportunities of a globally connected world. And then our mission for Kansas 4-H is 4-H youth development engages youth in reaching their full potential through partnerships with caring adults. And of course, that's where all of our club leaders, project leaders, staff, anybody of that, we try to be that caring adult for those things. So then we're going to talk a little bit about the essential elements of a positive youth development experience. And all 4-H youth development activities, including 4-H club meetings, should strive to include all of these 4 elements of positive youth development. As you're planning your club activities for the year, remember to use these. And so, the first one is belonging, and youth need caring and supportive relationships in their life. They need adults to learn about their interests and pay attention to them outside of meetings, events, and regularly organized activities. For youth to be engaged in programming, they must feel comfortable with their surroundings and never fear physical or emotional harm. Connecting with other people and building interpersonal relationships allows a sense of belonging to develop. Youth encourage one another, offer positive feedback, and celebrate the efforts of all. So then we have mastery. And mastery is when youth are engaged in learning. They are more likely to develop high levels of self-motivation and creativity. Building knowledge and skills and then demonstrating competency through project exhibits and work or teaching others allows youth to engage in mastery. Our third one is independence. Youth who envision their future have hope. They are more likely to make positive life choices and accept responsibility for their actions. Self-determination occurs when youth believe that they have an impact on the events in their lives. To become self-directing, autonomous adults, youth must have a sense of influence and control in their lives. And then generosity. Youth need to feel as though their lives have meaning and purpose. When young people serve others, they have the opportunity to connect with their communities and give back. And I think 4-H does a really good job of doing all these, but I just wanted you to kind of keep those in mind as you're planning your year and starting your clubs this year. You know, here in October will be our new 4-H year, that we really do need to focus on this. And I try to focus on this. I know Amy, we're getting Amy, she's learning about this too and getting focused on it. And I just wanted to share it with you as well. All right, so going into club expectations. So Kansas 4-H community club structure is intended to be flexible, but these are your minimum standards that must be maintained. So it has to be led or advised by 2 or more screened and board approved adult volunteers. And we are working really hard to make sure that all of our clubs have that in place. I will be contacting some because I have a couple who do need it. I don't think they're on today, but so I will be contacting those club leaders that need to be screened. It also must enroll at least 5 youth members from at least 3 families. And I think I've always said 2 families in the past, but I think this is a change from previous years. It emphasizes project exploration, leadership, and civic engagement. You need to conduct a minimum of 6 regular educational experiences per year. Many clubs hold 9 to 12 regular activities throughout most or all of the year. Gatherings include, but are not limited to, business meetings, project meetings, service learning opportunities, and other 4-H learning activities. And I think this is kind of where we kind of get stuck because, and I'll admit, I'm a traditional 4-H'er myself. And, you know, you went to a meeting and you had a lot of parliamentary procedure. You did have some fun activities, you did some recreation, and that was kind of, you did it every month on the same day at the same place. And I do think it's important to have that structure and have that consistency, but, you know, we have to get our audience in here. And this kind of goes back to recruiting 4-H members. We need to make our meetings fun. We need to make them want to come and want to be at our meetings. And sometimes business meetings are not the funnest part or the most fun part of 4-H. So, you know, don't limit yourself to that. If you have business to be conducted, you know, you do need to do some things. You need to make sure you have things, maybe parliamentary procedure, all of those things. But, you know, if you're doing a service learning opportunity and don't want to have a business meeting that month, that's okay too. Use your time to do that. If you have a project meeting and I know a lot of you do project meetings during your club meetings as well, you know, that's great. So just think outside the box a little bit and don't be afraid to try some things. See what works for your club and what can get your club members excited. And be sure and ask our 4-H'ers, our officers, see what they want to do because they might have some great ideas as well. And then select or elect youth leaders to provide direction to the club with shared youth leadership opportunities and shared decision-making and agreed upon rules or bylaws, which I think all of you guys have bylaws. We're good there. You all have youth leaders, your officer teams. Just make sure that you kind of meet with them and give them some direction, but also let them conduct, you know, plan meetings, plan things. And then keep meeting project financial records and submit required reports. And of course, you're following your state and local 4-H policy and obtaining a charter, which all of you have charters, so that's not a thing. So that's just kind of a quick overview of club expectations and kind of what a 4-H club is in the state of Kansas right now. So are there any questions or comments?
Hey, Carla, I had a
Yes.
question.
Sure.
Again, I'm like you, a traditional 4-H'er. So on these service-led ones and project ones, excuse me, do we need to meet quorum for them to like count as part of the 6 or whatever it was you said there we needed?
No, I don't believe so. And I know on our club, so we talked about Club Seal, and I think it requires that you have 9 club meetings, but I would consider those club meetings, and I don't know that you actually have to have a quorum if you're not doing business. It'd be nice if you did.
Okay. I'm kind of a stickler on that sometimes, and so I'm sure they'll be glad to hear that. That may not be.
Excuse me.
Okay.
But yes.
Thanks.
Good question. Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, if you think of them throughout the time, just let me know. Okay, so it is, I don't even want to say this, but it is almost November. I cannot believe I'm almost saying that because it's like 2 months away. But, you know, it'll come quicker than we think. And just a reminder, your annual financial reviews are due November 1st of every year. This is where you have a committee. Hopefully you'll have that committee already appointed. If not, I would appoint it at your September meeting, and they need to review the treasury records. It should be 2 adults and 2 4-H members at least. It can be a little bit bigger than that if you want to. And it cannot be anyone who is a signature on your account or who is related to a signature on your account. So if your treasurer is on the account and a signature, then their mom cannot be on the committee, or their dad or the siblings, any of those. So usually we don't have that much problem with treasurers, but club leaders, that you're the ones that I seem to have, because you get on the committee, but your signature's on the account too, or one of your kids is on the committee and you're a signature on the account. So, and I understand why that happens. It's because you don't have anyone else volunteering, but we really need to make sure we do this correctly, because they're starting to be a little more stickler about this, and it is important. If you have if you're a small club and you're having problems finding, you know, committee members, please let me know, and I'll try to pair you up with another small club that might have a problem, and you guys can switch, because or you can do that yourself, because I know you guys know each other as well. So you can always switch clubs. So, you know, for example, if Trailblazers and Spring Hill Rangers wants to switch their accounts and have each other do it, that's great. You know, that's okay too. The thing is, we just need somebody to review those and make suggestions. And then they come into my office and I review them, give them to my board, they review them, and then I send them back to you with any corrections or things that we think might need to be made. So it is kind of a long drawn out process, and we usually don't get it back to you until February. But I want to let you know that those are all the steps in the process. So that's kind of why it's hard to get it back to you really quickly. Okay. All right, then we're going to our club organization report, and I will send out an email with probably maybe Friday, actually. I'm not sure I'm going to get it done tomorrow, but with the club organization report, the financial reviews and everything, because I know I have a lot of people who aren't on here today too. But the club organization report is basically, it's just a form that tells us who your officers are, when you're meeting, where you're meeting, what time you're meeting, who your club leaders are for next year, also what 4-H council reps you have, and if you have project leaders, I would like those because they do count. Especially our youth ones can count. And then the other thing is sometimes I do some project leader, or I try to send out things to project leaders. And if I can have kind of a list of who all are project leaders, I don't have to send it out to everybody. So it is available on the MdC website under Club Leader Resources. It's a Google form. If for some reason you need a paper copy, let me know. But I think most of us anymore are doing Google phone or forms on our phone and different things. So not too hard. And then that kind of goes into the Club Leader Notebook, and that's available. It's at a Padlet, but it has lots of different information. And if you need an actual notebook, because I know we might be having some new member or club leaders come on board. If they would like a physical notebook, that is great. They can contact me and I will get them one. We have some made up, so it won't take us long. But if for some reason, the other thing is that, make sure to share that or share it. It is also on our website under the Club Leader, under 4-H Youth Development, under Club Leaders as well. So, as new members or as new leaders come on board, be sure and share this. Or if you think there's, if you have, sometimes they're not club leaders, but maybe they're your new member coordinator or they're assisting with a project and they need that information. This is not by any means just, it's not a secret society notebook. It's not a secret club leader notebook that nobody can have. So feel free to share it with anyone you want to, or you think will benefit. Okay, so that kind of got us through some of the, kind of talking about the first of the year, October 1st. So one of the things is enrollment. We are coming up on that. We will be sending out, probably October 3rd, before we send out information that says you can enroll, and we'll send out the policy and procedures guide for the Marais District with all the dates and details. We have the weigh-ins, we have when animals have to be tagged by, we have deadlines in there, lots of different things. So just a reminder, October 1st is when that'll open up again and they can re-enroll. I encourage, we say returning members must be enrolled by January 15th and new members by May 1st, but I will be honest, encourage them to go ahead and enroll. The quicker they can enroll, the better off they are. And I hate to tell people no, but I have to almost every year because somebody misses that January 15th deadline or they miss the May 1st deadline, or usually both. So, and then they can't show at the fairs, either fair if that happens. So, make sure. And the other thing is have your members double check, because sometimes they think they've submitted it, but they didn't go through the whole thing, or they didn't do it sometimes. I've had that happen a lot where they're incomplete. And if they're incomplete, there's nothing I can do on my end. They have to do it on their end. So, be sure and double check that as well. Make sure they're in the system. Screened volunteers must re-enroll each year as well. So all of you are screened volunteers. So come October 1st, you have to go into your account. When you're enrolling your kids, go ahead and go into your account and enroll yourself as well. Because that helps and that keeps you in our database, keeps you getting information, and also keeps us, basically the state puts everything into 4-H online. So that's how we're tracking when you need to do your background checks again. Oh yes, you've done your orientation. Oh, here's a new video, training that you maybe could do, those type of things. So it's very important that everybody enrolls as quick as possible. Okay, so any questions about all of that stuff that I went over so far, real quick? Okay. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about recruiting new members, and then Amy's really going to talk about some things she's developed, a lot of things that she's developed here in the last month to get that done. So before she starts, I just want to go over a little bit about how many 4-H members to recruit, because we always have this. And I will say optimal clubs, I think, are about 30 to 40. You can have, 25 is not bad. You get down in the 15 to 20. That's a little bit harder. And then, sometimes, some clubs do really well with 50. Some others struggle with that. So you kind of have to figure out where your club works. And it depends on how many leaders, how many volunteers, how many parents you have that are active. And also, you know, I kind of have down here, so not everyone attends meetings all the time. And I was actually looking last year, I don't know if you remember on the SEAL application, I asked for the number of members who attended your three meetings of at least 3 meetings of your club, the number who attended at least 6 meetings of your club, and the one that attended at least 9 meetings of your club. So I have those percentages here. I basically took your total enrollment in 4-H Online and took the numbers you gave me, which I really do appreciate, because this is kind of what I wanted to see was, and I want to track it from year to year. So it's on this year's as well, and it'll be on next year's. But so 78% of our members attend 3 meetings. That's not the best, but that's better than I expected, I'll be honest. So I think in 3/4 isn't too bad. It drops to 65% for 6 meetings, and it drops 45% to 9 meetings. So, you know, just kind of take that in consideration as you're trying to build your club. You know, it helps active members, help us all, and, you know, active families, but it does take a lot to do that. And then your age of 4-Hers is another factor you want to think about. So, you know, if you have lots of 4-Hers that are, you know, young, maybe you want to look for teens. If you're have lots of young or teen 4-Hers, maybe you're trying to find some new ones to come in that they can mentor and those type of things. And I know that's not always the easiest, because studies from other programs show that youth telling friends and classmates about 4-H is one of the best marketing methods. So, you know, that's where if you have all teens, it's really hard, but maybe they go into some schools or after school clubs and try to find those kids. So, like I said, telling friends and classmates is one of the best ways to get recruiting members. The other thing is we want to make sure we make families and youth feel welcome. This is really important at that belonging part that we just talked about in the essential elements. You know, once they've attended a club meeting, you need to get them to come back. To do this, make families and youth feel welcome. Sit by them, explain things to them. Or I know a club leader, you're not always able to do that, but if you can find another adult or an older teen who will do that, that's great. You know, make sure to introduce them to everybody and make sure that they have some fun. It's also important to make meetings fun and meaningful at the same time to entice families to make 4-H a priority. As we discussed earlier in our club structures training, you have some flexibility with what is considered a meeting, so don't try to always plan a business meeting, but try other educational and events. And I found the statistic that more positive experiences in a year equals 3.5 times more odds to enroll in the second year. So we don't do horrible, I don't think, in the MdC district with our second year enrollment, but we do lose some. So it's always important to do that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over with Amy, and I'm saying so a lot. Sorry about that. But she has some ideas to develop and recruit 4-H members and communicate with new families.
All right, so yay, that's me. I guess like my focus regarding recruitment has been kind of like about getting the word out currently, because we are coming up on that new enrollment year, and we've got basically October through the end of December to really catch a lot of kids and get them interested enough to enroll. And I mean, 4-H is just such a great program. I feel bad for kids who aren't in it, really, because I mean, what other program allows you to choose whatever you're super interested in and just run with it and do something amazing with it? I mean, it's so fantastic in that way. So I've been developing things to help you guys find people when asking friends and family members hasn't quite worked out. So on the slide, we've got candy and pencil labels. So this is just a little sample of them. They're little Avery address labels that I have put a QR code on. And you can wrap those around a pencil. You can stick them on a fun-sized candy bar. It's kind of an advantage for us having our enrollment period happen during the holidays, because you know you can stick these on anything. You're giving out Halloween candy out your door. Oh, there goes a little 4-H advertisement if you're feeling up to it. Doing a trunk or treat at an elementary school. If you have a ton of teens in your club and you go to an elementary school, hand these little guys out if you're trying to build. Parades. I know Lewisburg, we always do the Labor Day parade here in Lewisburg. It's another great opportunity to really reach kiddos. And I think being in a parade actually helps count towards your club seal as well. The other thing I've got is a club meeting invitation. It's a little postcard and you can just give it to your kids to give to kids in their school. This would work really great on your kids' 4-H week displays. Just put a little stack of them maybe in your poster or whatever you've got hanging up to advertise 4-H, and you could fill them out with your club and your meeting space and when, if you feel comfortable with that. Or if you feel more comfortable with it, hand it out at like church or just with people that you know. Everybody's got their own comfort level, so whatever works for you. But I think that's going to be a real good direct way to get people to feel special that they've been invited and actually turn up and see what it's all about. And then if we could move to the next one. All right, so once you get people in the door, this is for your parents. So we've got a quick reference for new families because 4-H is an organization and we do have our lingo and we do have our ways, and a great way to get people to feel more like they belong is to get them introduced to that vocabulary really quick. And so this quick reference sheet will really help out with that. And you know, another thing I think that we overlook when it comes to recruiting 4-H is, yes, we are recruiting kids, but if you look at it on a bigger scale, we're really recruiting families. So we also want the parents to kind of know what's in it for them. 4-H is really great as a family organization. You get to take all of the whole family to one place in one car, and you can't really say that about sports or other activities that our kids are in, because you know, you got your 5-year-old going this direction, your 7-year-old going that direction, your teenagers going that direction, and you know, you're all separated. But with 4-H, everybody gets to go to the same place, have the same experience, and it's just really good bonding. So if the parents get to do something besides play on their phone, you know, there's some outlet for them to also feel included. You want to get their attention on the sub organizations and what other roles that the parents can participate in. Like maybe they want to be a club leader or anything like that, really. Really kind of let the parents know what's in it for them too. And then we've got the 4-H club meetings and what is expected of you. That's just the backside of that page. It's just about what to expect in a meeting and how to act at a meeting, because we want people to come to our meetings, but we also don't want them to be disruptive either. I need you quiet, Artie. So yeah, that's about all for that. This page is to hand out to interested parents. So you've given out your little, you know, your little QR codes, you've gotten people interested in 4-H, and you've got a parent calling you up saying like, hey, I want to join 4-H, but I don't know which club to join. The interviewing clubs worksheet and the club leader interview worksheet, these will help them understand the best way for them to pursue joining a club. It will help them know like what level of participation the club is in. Like I know some clubs like to be super involved in everything. Some clubs are a little lighter on the involvement. I mean, you do you, but this will help them find the club that works for them. And so you might be getting some phone calls from people who are going through these worksheets, and be ready to answer any of these questions for them so they know what they might be getting into. We can go to the next slide. This is for parents who have been to a few meetings. They're like, hey, this is pretty great. I want to be more involved. So we've got the potential leadership roles that they could pursue and, you know, help you club leaders out really. So the more interested they are in this, the easier it is on you guys. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. We've got a pretty good cross-section of the parent involvement opportunities on there. So is that the last of them, or is there another? Oh, 4-H week. Yeah, that's been fun to develop too. So does anybody have any questions about those materials that we just went through? Everybody feeling pretty good?
Can we get them emailed out to us?
Yes, I've actually been putting together a little catalog with all of this stuff that I've been putting together, and I will send an email out to all of you tomorrow with them attached to it.
Thank you.
So, yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? Everybody feeling good? All right, let's talk about 4-H week, Spirit Week for 4-H. So literally I did develop a little Spirit Week for 4-H to go with National 4-H Week this year. It is the 2nd through the 8th, I believe. And all of the posters and stuff go up on Monday. So that was kind of easy. I wanted everybody to focus on getting those up in their schools and in their towns. Remember that they need to take photos from 2 different angles so we can judge them well, because our judge won't be there in person. So you want to get the best representation of your displays you possibly can. Tuesday is we're going to have the kids explore last year's spare book and kind of remember, like, oh man, I thought I might want to try that this year, and just sign up for something new. You know, we want to keep 4-H fresh for them. And then on Wednesday, sorry, I got to move my face box around here. Oh, wear your favorite 4-H gear. Yeah, everybody loves a good Spirit Day where you get to wear all your special gear. So get those kids in green from head to toe. Thursday, well, we're doing kind of a thankful Thursday. Send a thank you card to someone who has made a difference on your time in 4-H. So it could be an older 4-H member, a club leader, anybody who has impacted them. On Friday the 7th, we're going to have them invite a friend to their next 4-H meeting. Kind of looking back on those postcards that you're invited to a 4-H meeting, that would be a great day to have your kids hand some of those out at school or wherever you feel comfortable handing them out. And then Saturday kicks off our 48 hours of 4-H. That's Saturday, October 8th and Sunday, October 9th. So be thinking about, well, have your club be thinking about what projects they want to do for 48 hours of 4-H and get them started that Saturday. And then touching back on that Monday, our window displays and our posters. Excuse me. So the window displays, that's for a group to work on. So you might form a window display committee in your club and get everybody together and come up with a really creative thing to put up in your town, or each individual can make their own poster to put up in town. I know my daughter and her friend are both wanting to work on a poster together for their school. And our club actually kind of divided up all the schools in our town by our club members. You can find these rules on the website if you need to read through them more closely. Let's see. Yeah, they're all due on Monday. So put them up on Monday, take your pictures, email them in. We'll have judging probably on the 5th, and we'll have the results by that Friday. At least I intended to. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. We know how plans go these days. Does anybody have any questions on any of that so far? Cool. One tip for posters and windows displays, the more interactive we can make them, the more inviting they will be and the more intriguing 4-H will be. Like, I think for my daughter, she's going to do a little bit of STEM with her poster. Anything that just kind of draws them in, and they can maybe play with it a little bit without breaking it. Come up with creative ways to do something unique with your poster. That might be a lot of fun. So we can do the next slide.
Okay, so I think that was all, Amy.
Oh,
So
cool.
thank you very much for that.
No problem.
Any other questions, other items you guys have? So say while you're thinking about that, I do want to say we are going to try to do some Facebook Lives starting again here on the 1st of September on Thursday. They're going to kind of be just of course, they'll be available for you to see even if you're not able to get on like at 11:30 a.m. But we're going to try to do just, here's some upcoming events, some things you need to know to our 4-H members, kind of like we did a couple years ago when we were kind of dealing with COVID and trying to keep everyone informed with everything. So I don't know if we're gonna do monthly. We're gonna try to do a couple here, we probably will try to do one that first week or in October as well. And then we'll see where they go and see how they are responded. So it'll just be another way to get information out to everybody. So anyone else with questions or anything you guys need to discuss, problems you're having with your club, things that are going well, anything like that? Well, I know we kind of went through this really fast because I had 27 slides and we got through it in 45 minutes, which is good. But if you have any questions whatsoever, need any help, please let Amy or I know. And we will, we're here to help support you. We're here to guide you and help make your job as easy as we can. I know we can't do all of it, but we try to do that. And I really do thank you all for taking the time and being club leaders, because I realize that without all of you, we couldn't reach the 300, 400 youth that we do reach in a year in our club program. And, I know we've been kind of falling down, and we talked a lot about recruitment tonight and stuff, because we do have several clubs who probably really need new members, but that doesn't mean you guys, I am so thankful for all that you do and the way you keep going, even with those challenges. And, I appreciate it all. So I thank you for everything, and I hope you have a good evening. And I will stop recording. And if you have any questions, just let us know.